So today I woke up from a dream where I had this really wonderful conversation with who I thought was my best friend. I never miss him because he was just an attachment to her. She was my best friend. At least that's what I thought. And when I woke up and I wasn't yelling at her in my dream and I wasn't trying to beat her with every fiber of my being, I felt guilty that I would miss her, that I would miss our friendship, that I would miss what I thought we had, and that I would continue after 18 months of knowing who she really was, that I would continue to have a part of me that misses her. And what I had to come to a lot of understanding this morning, 2 pages of Bible journaling, that all these years I've watched so many people get away with bad things, being mean and hurtful and cruel, and nothing bad ever happens to them. That's what it looks like, because they don't get punished for how they treat me. Maybe that's what it is. But and so when it says that God is not mocked and he's not deceived and things like that, I believed it because, well, it's in the Bible and God can't lie. And so I'm like, yeah, eventually, someday, sure. But I hadn't seen it for myself, not the connection. And there's so much holiness here right now that I'm really having a hard time speaking and not crying. But I will tell you that I came up with something, and for 5 years, they led this lie. For 5 years, they pretended and pretended and pretended and pretended and sought me out. And I didn't really go seeking them out, but they sought me out. I was just friendly, and I would try to go have my own life and, just have healthy boundaries and try to be the best person I could. And they would keep coming. He, a lot of the times, would write me first, but I would always make sure they were in a group text message after a while, because I didn't want there to be unhealthy boundaries or any opportunity for someone to think that there was something not okay going on. And so for 5 years, I pursued what I thought was a pure friendship. Here's what I wrote today as it all came out. Maggie, their sins were brought out. God was not going to stand for such sin in his name and in his house against his people, since they were quote unquote leaders in our church and they led so much. And I was thinking about when he used to preach from the pulpit and why God didn't just strike him down. It's hard. It's hard to understand. So this is like medicine to my soul. The further into the lies and perversion they went, the more people were affected. The further from holiness and truth, the harder it was to continue the charade and keep up the appearance of holiness, because that's what it was, the appearance of holiness, not true, legit craving for purity, holy pursuit of the one true King. Free will and choice are always behind sins and hurt and pain. They chose to deceive. They chose to defraud people. They chose to manipulate until confronted with holiness and purity for an extended time. They could not keep up the facade at that level any longer. I think everything was fine until we were living in the same place. So when they had my daughter, they could deceive her. But when we moved down here and Evelyn was back with people who were true, legit, and sincere and pure in their pursuit of holiness, of righteousness. It's nothing about me. I'm still a sinner, but it was sincere. It was no longer a show. Everything was confronted like a cold front and a warm front, and how when they come together, it's a storm, because you can't have both of them. So they could not keep up the facade at that level any longer. The level of servitude, the level of pursuit for God, allowed Evelyn to know the difference between fraudulent and legitimate love, holiness, purity, and godliness. When she saw that for 13 years of her life, that I just kept trying to be the very best I could. And when I made mistakes, I would tell them, I would say I was sorry. She saw that. And then when we were back together, she saw it again, that it was still the same. It was still genuine. It was still pure. There wasn't a, hey, behind closed doors, this is who I really am. Yes, she was deceived, and that hurt me for so long. How could she believe them? How could she believe the lies? How could she just forget all the years of just love, absolute love and adoration for my baby? How could she? But she was deceived, just like everybody gets deceived. But since she was deceived, but since she had been established in truth, love, in a sincere pursuit of godly, holy life, she could not be deceived forever. So, yeah, she had the wool pulled over her eyes for a while, but not forever. She knew the truth, and the truth eventually set us all free from the lies, the deceptions, and the sins that were surrounding us. Everyone has a choice every single day about what they're going to do and what they're going to abstain from. Confronted by holiness, what is your choice? Take it or leave it. Are you going to take the holiness, or are you going to leave it? Every single person has a choice every single day, every moment of every day, every decision. They chose to pretend to take it, but the facade eventually came crashing down. Everything done in secret, when exposed to light, will be revealed. Some on Judgment Day and some before, but it will happen. And so what I'm seeing is this promise that God is not mocked, God is not deceived. What you reap, what you sow, you'll reap. I'm seeing that actually come and be established and proved right in front of me. I've never seen it before, where someone is actually punished for doing wrong. A big wrong, too. Because they've always just gone on and done things, and then maybe later on they have something happen to them. But I've never seen it. But this took it to a whole new level. They messed with God's people, and they used God's word in God's name and tried to justify everything through him, and confronted by righteousness and holiness. Well, one was going to win, and a pursuit of godliness with just a pure heart, I believe, brought everything to the surface. And so I miss what I thought was friendship, but I also have to understand that it wasn't true. And there were a lot of things that I had to give in or accept to get that friendship. She was a terrible mom. She was terrible, like taking care of her family, and it was always all about her. And it really, really bothered me. But I just kept thinking, I just want a friend. I just want a friend. And so there was one good part, but what did I give up in order to get that one good part? And I got someone who gave me what I wanted, but at what cost? And in the end, it wasn't worth it, because it wasn't true. True friendships have very healthy boundaries. True friendships, you don't have all day and all night anytime you want it to talk, because you're busy. You have your own life. And when your life is surrounded around other people's lives and you can just drop everything, something's not right. And I guess I just didn't see that at the time. That what I wanted was too good to be true. And you know how they say, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Well, yeah. Now, I thought because I was watching and I was so careful that there's no way I could be deceived and that somebody who's a creepo could get by all my radar, all my defenses. But they broke down those defenses slowly. I was expecting someone to come in and just rape my daughter or, want to steal her or something. But they were much more deceptive because they slowly ebbed away at all of my defenses until I was used to them. Because if they would have tried to hurt her quickly, well, she would have told me because we were safe and healthy people. But to break down everything and then just start fudging the truth until the truth isn't the truth anymore, it's really a lie, well, that makes sense now. And I guess I'm posting this because it's okay. What I miss wasn't real, but my feelings were. My love, my companionship, my friendship, my concern for them was real. And so I'm grieving what I thought was a legitimate friendship. And that doesn't make me bad. It means that I truly did have kindness and favor and genuine concern for them, genuine friendship for them. It never was anything gross or creepy like they wanted, because I didn't want that. I truly wanted friends, and I loved them like a brother and a sister. I fasted for them. I prayed for their families. I would rally God to help them because I was true. And God said, this can't go on any longer. This is wrong. And so he exposed their sins to the light. And so as I move forward, I want to remember that it's okay to miss what you thought you had. Not to sit and stew on it and beat yourself up over it and to just stay right there. But when you have genuine kindness and compassion for someone, that's not bad. That's actually healthy. When they deceive, well, that means they are having the issues and they are doing something wrong. God is not deceived. God is not mocked. What you sow, you will reap. Sometimes we see it. Most of the time, I don't think we see it. And so that's why we're like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. But this time I actually got to see the promise fulfilled right in front of me. And that humbles me. And it reminds me that he ain't playing around. I know he can't lie, but I've never actually seen him do it before. So there's a verse in Job that says, I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear, but now mine eye seeth. It's Job 42:5. I've heard of it, but now I actually see it for myself. It's so much more powerful. It also says all those disciples that got to see Jesus, imagine all the people that haven't seen him in person and still believe. Their faith is so much greater. Well, I've seen it for myself, and so the testimony is a lot stronger. That is very humbling.